Welcome to Reading, Writing, and Rain. This is a podcast about books, writing, and my writer's journey. I am your host, Rhayne Coleman, and you can follow me on Twitter at Coleman Rain, Instagram at Reading, Writing, Rain, and I am now on Goodreads. So please come on over to Goodreads, friend me, add me. I'm still figuring out how this site works, so give me some time. But I am on Goodreads at under Rhayne Coleman. Or Reading, Writing, Rain. Oh, geez, I'll have the link in the show notes. Now, when you're listening, please feel free to use that hashtag RWRPod. Share your thoughts with me there. Let's make this sort of a collaborative conversation of sorts. Or you can use the hashtag Reading, Writing, Rain, whichever tickles your fancy, so to speak. You can also email me at readingwritingrain@gmail.com. Say that 5 times fast. Reading, writing, rain. Reading, writing, rain. Seems like we have a bit of a theme here, huh? Now, in case you have additional comments or maybe a more in-depth conversation or, more thoughts that you want to get out that were, I don't know, you don't want to put into some Twitter character limits or whatnot. So yeah, welcome guys. Welcome to the third episode of Reading, Writing, and Rain. Thank you so much for joining me again. This has been fun. This has been fun. These first two episodes have really been fun for me. So getting right to it. Like I said, I'm on Goodreads. I'll have the link in the show notes. I'm still figuring out that site, so be kind to me. Be kind to me, but add me or however it works over there. I know I've rated a few books, a few graphic novels, a few comics, and a few novels. Um, there, yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far because everything is new. It's a little, not frustrating, but there's a learning curve, and I know future me is probably going to be like, this was not that bad. You are blowing it out of proportion, but it's new, so bear with me. I'm also Instagram. I'm new to Bookstagram, and so I'm still trying to figure out what in the heck it is I'm doing over there. So please go on over to Instagram and add me Reading Writing Rain. Like some of my posts. Give me suggestions of books and posts and bookstagrammers you think that I should follow or at the very least check out. I'm not new to Instagram, but I am new to Bookstagram. Just trying to figure things out. So yeah, go on over there, give me a like, give me a follow, give me some suggestions, hop in the DMs with interesting posts. Yeah, so those are my two, I guess, more pressing updates. Now, it is now July. We are right into Camp NaNoWriMo. Yeah, y'all, this is cool. This is cool. So Camp NaNoWriMo has begun, and again, the difference from the July camp versus the November NaNoWriMo is in November you're focused on getting that 50,000 word novel done in under a month. In the July camp, you're able to kind of tailor your own and make your own rules, your own goals. Now, I actually, and I was so against this, not for any reason in particular, but I went ahead and declared a project on NaNoWriMo. I wasn't going to do it, but randomly, I was sitting at my desk doing work, and I was like, you know what? Let me check out the site. I went to it, logged in, did a little poking around. I've never been big on the NaNoWriMo site, not because there's anything wrong with it. I just never really cared to declare anything or to like follow all the parameters within the site. But I was like, okay, you're doing things differently. You're trying to be a bit more, not active, that's not the word I'm looking for. You're trying to do things and experiment with things with this writer's journey. Why not? So I went ahead and declared my project, and it was cool. It's there. I did some updates. I got a few badges. Now, the issue that I've found, or let me rephrase this, take a few steps back. Some of the issues that have been voiced about the site is about the goals that you're able to select in NaNoWriMo that are not word counts. So I've seen a few YouTubers address how frustrated they are with the website. One girl in particular, and forgive me, I forget her name. I'm blanking on it completely. Young white girl, maybe mid 20s. Oh, I think she has like a bunny or a cat. I don't know. But either way, her issue was she did not like that you can only select a word count goal. Her issue was that she felt like NaNoWriMo's site was rushed, I guess because they promised a while back, like maybe a few years back or a year or so back, that they would tailor the site to include more than word count. So maybe like a poem a day or editing words or like just a bunch of different things. And her issue was that it still does not reflect that. And one of the updates that the site seems to have had, now again, these are her words, not mine, because I'm still kind of new to the site. Her issue was that the only update that seems to have been made was that you could now select a memoir versus a novel. And it was such a funny, I know she didn't mean it to be funny, but her frustration was so funny to me because she was so animated, and her issue was like, the people who are on this site more times than not are updating novels. She said, how many people are like doing memoirs at a Camp NaNoWriMo or at NaNoWriMo and like need this parameters? I'm like, well, the writing process is different. Some people might, but I understood her frustration. She broke it down well enough. And if I can remember her name and her video, I will link it in the show notes. But yeah, she was very frustrated. And I've seen videos before where authors have expressed some of the same and similar concerns. Now, for me, I just put in my word count goal, put in a little brief synopsis, a little working title, and I'm like, that's enough for me. I don't need editing words, and I'm not doing poems. I'm not doing, certain things a day. But I do understand the frustration there. Tell me this: if you are participating in NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo, if you have in the past, or if you just use the site, let me know if those frustrations that the YouTube girl had are yours as well. Or if you just love the way the site works, if you're like, nah, it's cool, it's working for me, let me know. Because again, though I've been aware of NaNoWriMo and I've done it for the past few years, I've never attached myself to the site in the way that I did just recently. So I'm, still figuring it out, and I don't foresee her issues really being mine at this moment because again, I'm just here for the word count goal. That's it. Um, yeah, but I hope things work out for her and whoever else is having issues with the site, because I do see how it is. It seems to be very community based. I went ahead and updated my area on the NaNoWriMo site, and when I looked at the map, there were like so many different like pins in the map of like different people, I guess, who are on the site. And then I put in my now I'm in Texas, you guys. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I am in the South, one of the biggest states in the country. I put my zip code, area in there, and they said there are no events or like users in your area. Maybe you should create an event. I had to laugh. I'm like, I'm in this large metropolitan city and there's no one in my area. Not that I was really looking for anyone to like collaborate with or like do writing sprints, and which we'll address that in a second. But it was just funny that like looking at the map there were all these different pins, and now like I'm in Idaho or like some little flyover state. It's like, no, there's people here. So there's that. That was funny. So speaking of writing sprints, okay. So now that I've officially registered my project, and in the last video, I talked about me outlining, that's full and solid. I want to get into writing sprints. So if you guys are doing any, if you know of anyone, or if you know some author booktubers who do writing sprints, there's one who I know of in particular, but every time she does them, I am literally at work. I am at work, and I can't recall where she's located. I know she's in the States, but I don't know where. But I'm like, she's had maybe 7 or 8 in the past month, and every single time I'm at work, I'm like, golly, can you do one on the weekend, lady? So if you know of anyone who does writing sprints, who's very engaging, entertaining, people who you guys like, let me know, and I'd love to check them out. Because though I know that I can accomplish this, I can finish this book on my own. There's always fun in community, and I am new to the book Instagram bookish community. Um, Not to books, but new to the community. So I do want to kind of mix and mingle and talk with some folks, meet with some folks, and see what's going on with what. So yeah, if you are doing writing sprints, if you know anyone that's doing any, please let me know. That would be vital information for my everyday life. I'd appreciate that. I appreciate that. So all in all, I am pleased with my Camp NaNoWriMo experience, though it's only like been a day. I'm very pleased with my experience so far. That being said, I registered my project under the working title of You're Invited. I think I may have mentioned that in the last episode. But the working title is You're Invited. It is a novel. It's a novel. And I got some words logged in, actually at 2,069 words, and I'm happy at where I'm going so far and what I've done so far. My word count goal that I've set for myself for this project, honestly, it's 50,000 words. Now, with that being said, I just put that out there because I'm like, that's a pretty attainable goal. However, this book might end before that or it might end after that. I'm not married to that word count goal because if I get the story out and it's like, I don't know, 40,000, which it's not going to be, it's going to be more than that. But if that was the case, I would be okay. Of course, that's when you get into editing and figuring out what works and what doesn't. But even if it went over 50,000, I'm fine with that too. That was for me just a benchmark. That's something like if I can hit this with this current project, November should be a breeze. I'm thinking forward to the future. So that's where my head is. Again, let me know if you're participating in Camp NaNoWriMo. If so, like, what is your project or what's your goal? Like, is it a poem a day? Is it 50,000 words? Is it editing? Like, what is it that you're doing for Camp NaNoWriMo that is your goal? I want to be able to support you, give you your kudos, your sis boom ba, rah rah rah, all that good stuff. So use the hashtag RWRPod and let me know what it is that you're doing so I can see it and I can like, give you your big ups, your encouragement, and all that good stuff. Now, I want to do something a little different, but not a whole lot different. So because it's only the beginning of Camp NaNoWriMo, I said I had 2,069 words logged. I want to kind of do a little bit more or give a little bit more insight into my work in progress. This is something that I wouldn't ordinarily do. However, because I'm trying to be a little bit more transparent with myself and hold myself accountable, I do want to discuss this project a bit more. Not give a whole lot of spoilers or anything, of course, because I'm still writing it, but I want to pique some interest, in case you guys are like, oh, that sounds good. I'd love to read that, or and just get the words out there, the words that I'm saying. So I found this was a tag on YouTube. Jeez, you guys, I am so all over the place. And if I can find the originator of the tag, I'll definitely put the person's links in the show notes. However, when I found it, it was about like cooking a dish and explaining your work in progress and like tying in the dish to your work in progress. We're not doing all that. This is not visual platform. I'll maybe add a few pictures of food that I've cooked on my social media, but like I'm not going through like baking a cake or making like an omelet or steak or eggs. We're not doing all that. So there's a few questions I had to alter them a bit because I again I'm not doing the cooking aspect of it. But there are a few questions about your current work in progress. And I think if this is the best time to get this out here, this is the beginning of NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo. So it is the first one is what is the working title for your work in progress? I already said it is You're Invited. You're Invited is the title that first came to mind even when I had a cast of like 8+ characters, main characters, not just one or two protagonists, like 8 people, as you heard in that last episode. So You're Invited was like immediately that was my working title. Excuse me. That may end up being my title in the end, but I'm also playing around with other ideas. And as I write, hopefully more will come to me, and maybe there'll be another one that might stick out, or a tagline or something. So it's all still, even the working title is the work in progress, but the working title is You're Invited. So what's the genre now? This was the issue that I had, and I don't need you guys judging me with the genre. There there's a lot going on, and I'm still figuring out where to place this, but I think the main genre would be romance, because honestly, there's a lot of emotional romantic drama. Um, so like maybe not even young adult, maybe young adult. I don't know, young adult, new adult, young new adult romance. That's I'll say that. And when that question came up on the NaNoWriMo site, I was like, ugh, I don't know what I should put here. So you guys let me know what genre is the book you're writing, or the last book you wrote, or whatnot. But this work in progress, I'm just going to say definitely for right now, it's romance, but it's young adult, new adult romance. I will, as the process continues, we'll get a little bit more solidified at what's what. And I think it could be either, but not going to dwell. Next up, what is one word to describe your main character or characters? Okay, so I have three main characters. Um, Two ladies and a guy. What is so one for the first lady, who's the oldest lady, she's like 20 something. The first girl, I'll say, what is a word to describe her? Confident. This, oh, this woman, this girl, this lady, she is confident like no other, and very much. And it was very important for me to make this character exude confidence, so that we could flip some of these actions that she's taken in her past on their head. And I think I liked her immediately. Like when I came up with the different characters, I had 8, I scaled down to 3, and I kind of workshopped what these 3 characters would be. She felt so right. So right. And then when I found the image online of a girl who I felt, looked closely to what I had in my head, I was like, oh yeah, confidence, leader, headstrong, but confidence is the one word I'd say to describe her. Second, the guy, the second oldest, I would say this dude, this young man is very. What is a word? You guys help me out, because he's sort of sensitive, not emotional in the sense that like he's breaking down whenever something happens, but he's very empathetic. That's what it is. He is very, very empathetic to a fault. This guy is empathetic to a fault. The way the story is mapped out, he has to come to terms with a lot of his past mistakes and decisions he's made based on being that empathetic person. And I actually really like him as well. I mean, I like everybody. I like all the folks I didn't create it, but I really like him because I see a lot in him that I've seen in so many people. I mean, from high school to college to being a young adult to working to, I see a lot of things that, oh my God, I really want to do this character justice. And then the third main character, the youngest of the three, is a word to describe her would be, well, no, she is the, I don't want to say smart, because I feel like that is not a dynamic enough description. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But I think misunderstood. Yeah, I think I'll go with that because out of all of the things that happen and have happened with her and her family and just, her existing, I think misunderstood is the best word to describe her. I may be pulling a lot from my own life, I'm sure. As a writer, that's what we do. But a lot of the things that she's done, they appear one way on the surface, but are motivated by entirely different things than what you would think. So I want to, I'm going to go misunderstood, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how do you manage in a space where you're perceived as one way, and because everyone is just like rolling with that perception, you're not allowed or you're not given the space to just be. Like you are already pigeonholed into this one thing. Like this is what you are. And so, yeah, I think misunderstood is the best word for her. So, what is an elevator pitch for your work in progress? One or two line sentences to give the reader a snapshot of your story. Oh, see, and this is where I'm not great at. Well, no, no, let me not say that. This is this is new to me. Let's say, oh, okay, this is good. Three siblings travel back home from college for winter break. They are thrown into high emotional situations that forces them to deal with their past decisions as those decisions affect their romantic futures. That's it. I'm gonna stick with that. I don't care. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. I'm going to stick with that since that was the first thing that came out. I don't want to second guess it too much, but three siblings home from college, winter break, thrown into situations where they are forced to deal with their past decisions and their future romantic stuff. Let me know if that sounds like a book you'd be interested in reading. Even if it's not, like, let me know. Let me know why. Like, did I not give enough information? Is it not fleshed out enough? Is it just not your cup of tea? Like, oh, romance books aren't for you. Let me know. I honestly would like to know. What you think about that quick little elevator pitch. Let me know. Oh, and also I want to make it clear my characters are black. I don't know if that needs to be said, but they are three black siblings. Yes. Um, let's see. Okay, and then who is your favorite character? Doesn't have to be the main character, but who's your favorite character and why? Oh my gosh. So I'm in this weird space where, like I mentioned in the past episode, I've never fully completed an outline. This is the first time I've ever, from start to finish, completed an outline. So, with that being said, when I was pantsing in the past and just writing novels and books, I could pick out a character here or there. But because I know this entire journey of every single person involved, and it's not like random coming up with on the spot. I mean, some things may in the final iterations of the book, but right now, because I know everything, I honestly love everyone. I want all of these characters to win. But if I'm being completely honest, I'll just say one of the parents I am just in love with. I'm in love with their story. Really, both of them. Oh, okay, okay. Let me actually buckle down and give you a favorite. With the stories that favorite. It's honestly, guys, so hard. I'm not even putting on, like, no cap. This is very, very challenging for me because I do enjoy even the like sort of antagonist characters. Like I like them too because like but whatever. I'd have to say, there's a guy who, yeah, I say he's my favorite. So there's a guy who's in the book, and he was created based off of my feelings about a lot of different male characters I've consumed in the past. So like Darius Lovehall from Love Jones. He's also a piece of, and I forget his name, the guy, the poetry guy on Girlfriends who Lynn dated, and like he wouldn't have sex with her, like he was celibate, and she was like freaking out about it. He's and there's this guy who I like knew in real life, when I first went off to college, who was like really into poetry, and like I had seen movies and TV with people talking about poetry and the whole generic like snaps and stereotypes about that group of people, that community. And when I met him, he was much older than me. He worked for the college, but when I met him and I saw that this man lived that life that I was only viewing from a movie and a TV show here and there, I was like, oh wow, this is so interesting. So I'll say right off the top of my head, those three men, the real life person who I knew, the guy from Girlfriends, and Darius Lovehoff from Love Jones, those three really informed a lot of the decisions that I made with this character. And if I'm being completely honest, he is the favorite right now, like the up above everyone else. And not to get too ahead of myself, but I would love to either continue his story or have a whole nother book with focusing on him and a lot of the things that might come up in this book, and then even just fleshing out more of him. So I'm really into that particular character, and like to give you a hint of who he is, so he's fleshed out, but I don't want to give out too much. He is at the time of this, work in progress, where I am now with the story, if it doesn't change too much in the future, he is the guy who we meet at the airport. I'll say that much. But that, yeah, that guy, he's the one. So yeah, that's my favorite, and that's my reason why. Let's see, where does your book take place? Well, this is a book that mirrors real life. There's no superpowers or anything in it. This is a new adult, young adult romance, and it is in Flint, Michigan. For those who don't know, because I don't believe I mentioned it, I am a Flint, Michigan native. And with a lot of the things surrounding Flint, from the auto industry, the water crisis, the different creatives that have come out of Flint, Michigan, this is, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say this book is a love letter to Flint, Michigan. However, I think its existence is a love letter to Flint, Michigan, because I don't. It's so weird. So let me get myself together. I am proud to be from Flint. Um, I'm now down here in the South. Things are different, and you want to write what you know. That didn't inform me placing it in Flint, but I'm taking the city of Flint and I'm infusing it with the nostalgia I had as a kid, and I'm also exaggerating certain things. So it's not a beat for beat. We're on Dort Highway, and then we're going to Genesee Valley Mall, and we also go to, go bowling sometimes. We get a chili dog. Like, it's not that, but it's very much set in Flint, Michigan. But I'm hoping to make it, to describe it and to bring it to life in a way where just because you know it's in Flint, it doesn't pull you out. Because I know in some books, and this may just be me, but I know at times when you ground a story in a specific place, it can maybe cause you to judge it a little bit more harshly. Because I was in New York, oh, I need to know what such and such pizzeria was on 156th Street, and this train goes here, and this train goes there, and so that isn't the um, vibe, for lack of a better term, that I'm going for. It's more or less this story is set in Flint, Michigan, with a lot of the set pieces that are important, or that if you're reading it and you're from Flint, you'll know, oh, yeah, Northern High School, Carmen Ainsworth High, Northwestern, Central High School, or, Genesee Valley Mall. Like, there's certain things that you will pick up on, but it's not grounded so heavily that it's like, you're from, I don't know, Decatur, Georgia. You're like, what the hell? I can't get into this. So it is in a version of Flint, Michigan, that I think will appeal to all readers, unless of course you just don't like the city. You're like, fuck that city. So otherwise, I think you'll enjoy it. And then if you were stranded on a desert island with which character would you want to be stranded with? That's the question. It would have to be if I just had to pick one. The probably the guy I mentioned earlier, the guy from the airport, mainly because he is very worldly, and that's oh, do I sound like some old auntie from the '80s? He's worldly. No, he's very knowledgeable on a lot of things. He's been around the world and yeah yeah. I can't find my baby. No, he's very worldly and he knows a lot about a lot. And it's little things, just stuff that may not matter, but that might matter. And I feel like he he would help us survive. If maybe we might not make it to help comes, but we're gonna survive as long as we can. And there are a few other characters who I think would also do well, but yeah, he's the first person that comes to mind for me. hmm So that's it. That's all the questions with that tag. And again, if I can find the young lady, because I think it was a girl, oh, it may have been a guy. If I can find the person who originated the tag, I'll definitely drop their link in the show notes as well. So yeah, yeah, I'm definitely going to try to do that because I would like for you guys to like watch those tags, like on the visual side to see like different things that people were like cooking and different works in progress and stuff. What's your work in progress? Is it a fantasy novel? Is it romance? Is it like what is it? Let me know. I want to get in your business. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so then that wraps up the questions there. Let me know if you're interested in maybe more little sneak peeks into the work in progress because as I write it, maybe I'll come up with more questions of my own. And let me know if you're even interested in that book. Like, does it sound interesting? And then again, you won't hurt my feelings if you're like, nah, this is a pass for me. But I would like to know why. Because again, if you're just not into romance, I get that. If you are more into fantasy and, I don't know, historical fiction, I get that makes total sense. But let me know. Let me know. Let's do. I don't know that I'll continue this throughout every single episode, but I want to do a little segment of what I'm reading, what I'm currently reading. So I've read a few books over the last couple months, but the last two, the one I just finished, maybe a couple weeks ago, was Aces of Spades by Frida Àbíké-Íyímídé. When I tell you that book was something else. Quick thoughts because I want to get into detail, into a detailed discussion or a detailed review. But really quickly, I enjoyed the book. There were times that I was frustrated with the characters, and that could be good or bad. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And there was one issue that I had with the book. Like, it was really getting to me and it wasn't anything to stop you from enjoying the book, but it was like kind of a pet peeve of mine. And so, because I was both reading it and I did the audiobook, when in the audiobook at the end of the story, Frida explained the issue that I had. And it was really quickly, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And now I like the book even more. I'm being very cryptic because I don't want to spoil anything if you guys haven't completed the book. This isn't an official spoiler review, but that one thing I was like, oh, she's really put thought into this and she did a really good job. She did a really good job. And I'm glad that that explanation came at the end and not at the beginning because I think I probably would have been looking for the issue as opposed to letting it happen naturally. Because I think I may be in a smaller camp of people, others who have read this and have listened to the audiobook and whatnot. Maybe it didn't bother them at all. I'll just say it has something to do with location. I'll say that much. But yeah, and then the other book that I am currently reading is The Other Black Girl. This is by Zakiya Dalila Harris. And where the first one is about black kids at a boarding school, very dark academia. No, I'm sorry. I completely lied. This is about two black kids at an all-white prep academy school, not a boarding school, because they are able to go home. Um, and the issues they deal with there. With the other black girl, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this book. It's about a young girl, black girl, in the publishing world. She's been there for 2 years. She's the only black girl. A new black girl comes into the office, and things are going on. Then there's a second story, which I don't even want to say is a B. Maybe it's a B plot, B story of three other black women in publishing. I think years before, and so it's. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm enjoying it, but I'm also like, what is going on? And I know we're leading up to something, so I'm not like judging it too harshly. I'm enjoying the ride. I have thoughts and speculations on what's what, but we'll see. But that's what I'm currently reading. So let me know what you guys are reading. What books are you currently reading? What books have you maybe just completed? Is there anything you think I would enjoy or that I just need to be looking at? I just need to be reading. Any of that? Let me know. Let me know. I want to get your suggestions because again, I'm new to all of this bookish community. And I'm trying to be more involved. I'm trying to be more active and create a community, pretty much. So that's that. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up here, guys. Thank you all so much for sticking out with me, joining me for this third episode, listening to this episode all the way through. You guys who have been maybe commenting while listening, thank you as well. I appreciate that. Reading, writing, rain. Um, yeah. So thank you. Thank you for joining me in this podcasting, this writing, this bookish journey. Again, please follow me on Twitter at Coleman Rain, Instagram at Reading Writing Rain. Also use the hashtags RWRPod so I can easily find your comments. Or you can just at me directly, that's fine as well. But the hashtag will make it easier to kind of find you guys. Thank you all for joining me. Please, as always, be great to yourselves, be great to others, and until next time. Read something, write something, then come back and tell me. Rain.